Remember Friday, December 12th, 2025? To most people, it looked like a normal day. Stores opened, people went to work, and everything seemed fine. But inside the big building where America's money bosses work, something really important happened. For the first time in years, they started to make new money again. And they're not telling everyone about it. They're not calling it help for the economy, and they're definitely not using scary words that people might understand, right? Instead, they gave it a confusing name that they hope you won't really pay attention to. They called it the Reserve Management Purchases System. It's just a small fix, they say, just helping with tax time. Nothing to worry about with the economy, the AI infrastructure, the stock market, or the high prices at grocery stores. But here's the truth. They're not being completely honest with you. On December 12th, the Fed started pumping $40 to $60 billion every month of brand new money into our money system. I wouldn't call this a small fix. This is like turning on a giant water hose. And they're doing this while the stock market is really high. Prices keep going up, is borrowing money faster than almost any country in the world. What happens when you throw gas on a fire? You get a huge blast. Prices jump up really fast in a way that doesn't make sense and tricks people into not seeing the danger ahead. This is Lion Finance, and today we're figuring out what really happened. We'll explain what the Fed said and talk about what happens next, how this change affects you. The money printer is running at full speed. So are you ready? To understand December 12th, we need to start with December 10th. The big money meeting ended with news that seemed simple. They cut rates by a tiny bit, making them from 3.5% to 3.7%. Lower rates mean cheaper money and help for regular people. But listen to what really happened. For the first time since 2019, not everyone agreed. 3 people voted differently. 2 didn't want to cut at all, and 1 wanted to cut even more. Why? Because some of them see what you see, prices staying high, costs not going down, and the government spending way too much money it doesn't have. Cutting rates is now risky. It might make prices go up even more. Then came the really surprising part, what they said about next year. Everyone thought they would cut rates 4 to 5 times in 2026. The Fed said they'd only cut once, just one time for the whole year. This should have made the stock market crash. It was like throwing cold water on everyone's hopes. But the market didn't crash, it went up. Why? Because of what they said next, the RMP. They're starting to buy things again. The market realized that even if they keep rates high, they're opening another door to let money flow. And in the money world, that's all that matters. So here's the trick they're playing. The Fed is really scared of saying quantitative easing. Those words mean trouble. That's what they did in 2008 when banks failed and in 2020 when everything shut down. So they made up a new name, Reserve Management Purchases. Here's what they're saying. The banking system needs extra money to work right, so the Fed is just buying $40 to $60 billion in government papers every month to help run things smoothly. Just fixing the pipes, they say. Here's what's really happening. It doesn't matter what name they use. The action is exactly the same. The Federal Reserve makes new digital money out of thin air. They use it to buy government debt. That money goes into bank accounts. The Fed's wallet gets even bigger and more money enters the system. When the Fed buys $40 to $60 billion in government bills, they take those bills away and give the people cash instead. The people who sold those bills now have cash just sitting there doing nothing. Where do they put it? They look for better places to put their money. They buy company bonds, stocks, gold, Bitcoin. By flooding the system with cash, the Fed pushes people to buy riskier things. Prices go up without them, even lowering long-term rates. It's planned to make things go up fast. Here's a scary memory from 2019. The Fed was trying to take money out of the system. Then suddenly the repo market broke. This is where the banks lent each other money overnight. Cash disappeared, and rates jumped from 2% to 10% in a single day. The whole money system almost stopped working. The Fed had taken out too much money. Jump back to today. The Fed has been taking money out for 3 years, and warning lights are flashing again. The place where extra cash sits, it's completely empty, and the Fed is scared of another 2019 accident. This $40 billion every month isn't about helping the economy grow. It's about stopping the banking system from having a heart attack. It proves the system is so weakened and so hooked on money that it can't even survive without getting fresh cash all the time. And here's the giant debt problem. You can't even talk about December 12th without mentioning it. We're entering a phase where the debt is so huge that the Fed can't do its job anymore. It can't focus on stopping prices from going up. Its main job now is keeping the government from going broke. The government needs lower rates. It needs people to buy its debt. So who buys it when nobody else will? The Fed. By starting RMP, the Fed becomes that buyer. They're buying government bills, keeping costs down for borrowing. This is printing money to pay for the government's bills. The government spends money it doesn't have, and the Treasury makes debt papers. The Fed prints money to buy those papers. So on December 12th, the United States made this cycle the normal way of doing things. So here's what will happen to the stock market, and this is only a prediction. The Fed buys 40 billion in government bills. The people who own these bills now have 40 to 60 billion in cash, earning zero. They need to put it somewhere. So they buy company bonds and stocks. As billions pour into big company stocks, the prices go up, pulling everything up with them. The cycle keeps growing and the money makes prices go up, which makes people feel good, which brings in more money. The market doesn't really care why the Fed is printing, and only cares that the Fed is printing, and that stock prices keep going up. So while the stock market has a party, regular people pay the cost. Here's how this will work. New money helps the first people who get it and hurts the last people who receive it. We'll see prices go up, first for stocks, gold, Bitcoin, and houses. Later, it spreads to everything else. The Fed is betting they can control what people think about prices going up. But if regular people figure out the Fed is paying the government's bills with printed money, trust breaks. And once people stop trusting the dollar, nothing can fix it. So what does this mean for you? Understand what is happening. We're entering a time when prices will go up. The Fed has chosen to keep the money system working instead of fighting high prices. Keeping your money in cash means losing money. So the price jump will make everything go up short term. Stocks, crypto, gold, and silver. But be careful. This isn't real. It's fake prices from printing money. December 12th wasn't just another day. It was the day the Fed gave up. They chose to support the debt machine. Prices speed up. The warning lights flashed. And history tells us that this ends only one way. Your money becomes worth less. Now here's a disclaimer. This is all solely based on my prediction and my research. So make sure to do your own research and to subscribe to Line Finance if you've learned anything at all. Stay safe. See you in the next one.